Welcome back to the third episode of Your Older Sisters podcast. I'm Ava.
And I'm Gianna, and we're here with our special guest today, Miss Lexi Casano.
Hi.
Okay, Lexi, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lexi. I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior in high school. I met these two
In middle
in
school.
middle school.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say like 6th grade. We all got super close,
Mhm.
and
We used to be enemies.
no, we did.
We used to be enemies too.
I also
I
used to be
know.
enemies with Gianna.
Yeah, I was enemies with Lexi too, and enemies with you.
Yeah.
Because Lexi said that her brother blocked me on Instagram off her
Meanwhile,
phone.
it was just me.
yeah.
Okay, but whatever.
Okay, I have a few questions to ask you. How has high school changed you so far?
I think that high school is where everybody kind of like finds like pieces of themselves
Mhm.
and starts to become more mature.
Yep.
I would definitely say that high school has made me realize that you kind of just have to like look out for yourself
Yeah.
instead
very
of
true.
looking out for others. I mean, it's
Yes.
always good to look out for others, but you have to put yourself first because people will push you around and try to put
I
you
agree.
down.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got to stay strong, and it's tough, but
So do you think it like has changed you for the better?
yes, definitely.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like I am able to hold myself better now
Mm-hmm.
and be stable and not just get like a pushover. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like that's one of my favorite things about you is that like you're so like you know exactly who you are as like a person, and like you're so good at like pushing people like in the right direction. I feel because like you've
Thank
guided
you.
yourself in this direction, and I feel like you're so good at like helping people.
Yeah.
Thank
and I
you.
feel like I've seen the growth too.
Yeah,
Thanks. I've seen the growth in
Awesome.
you guys. Feel like I've seen the growth in everybody.
Yeah.
Like people that I haven't talked to since like freshman year before
my God.
COVID.
Mhm.
Yes.
Everybody has like matured. It's crazy.
I think after COVID, I think everyone found themselves.
Yes.
Because in a way, like during quarantine, I feel like I kind of like lost myself in a bit in
Yeah.
a way because I didn't know really much about myself. I couldn't really talk to people and it was just a different
And then like
time.
I feel like everyone experimented during quarantine and
But, like with themselves.
yes.
It was like a whole lot of
style,
self-care.
Oh,
style,
yeah.
self-care.
I was like in a weird phase.
I was
Ugh.
like emo for like
Oh,
a month.
me too. I was just watching like my old videos
old
and
TikTok.
cringing. Yeah,
I dyed we dyed our hair colors.
Yeah, let's not even
Oh,
get
I
into that.
remember
That
that.
was, that was a bad time in history.
Yeah,
Dyed
that
your hair
was-
purple.
I dyed my hair I dyed a strand of my hair purple, Lexi, and then I convinced Lexi and she
My hair was like 10 different colors at one point.
it was. It
I
was
did,
like
I did a
orange,
highlighting
yellow.
kit on my whole hair and pretty
the-
much made it like orange, blonde, white, yellow, blue was in there too. So
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of
Green.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, so as you said, you're a senior. We're all seniors. So what are you doing after high school? What's the plan?
Yes.
So I've been doing my research on a whole lot of different paths to take.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now I've really fallen in love with the idea of real estate.
I
And
can so see that.
I see you being your own boss.
That's
Yes.
what
I
I'm
said that to you
saying.
the other
I-
day.
100%.
I do not want to work for like a huge like corporation. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be a leader, a
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
But
they need
I
more
also-
they need more women in that field anyway.
yes, I also love bartending. I am not going to say that I have done it before, but
You can.
I want to go to bartending school. I used to be a waitress at a golf course,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Hudson
National
National.
Golf Course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But I love it. I love like the adrenaline that you get from it.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of people kind of put down the bartending industry a little bit. That's how I feel. So I, like Lexi, also I waitress currently, and I think that like throughout college, I plan on doing that on the side just to make
It's
extra
really
money.
good money. It's quick, easy
It
money.
is bartending and waitressing. You get to meet so many people, and like
Mhm.
it honestly gives you like
confidence.
it
Mhm.
It
does.
really does.
100%. It gives you so much confidence because people are so nice to you. I mean, like, you are also caring for their food and drinks, so they kind of have to be.
I would definitely say the opposite.
Really?
At the golf course that I worked at, they were
Because they're all, like, old men.
snobs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I since I reached out to you about
Yeah.
working at 10520, I've been like practicing.
Your waitress voice.
Yes, but I
Do you
keep
guys-
on
she's
having to like
gonna-
turn back around because I'm like, oh my gosh, I said the wrong thing. It's like
I told
it's
her
so
that.
hard.
I told her that. So in the,
I could be a hostess.
yeah, that's what you are gonna.
Yes.
So I told Ava that like when you turn 18, that's when you can begin waitressing at a restaurant. And like Lexi obviously has that experience through like a golf course. So when I turned 18 or like a few months beforehand, I started waitressing, and I told Ava she'd be the perfect hostess because she's so like
Bubbly and welcoming. Her
come,
spirit is
I'll lead
just
you
so
to your
like,
table.
I'll be like, how many people?
yeah.
But to go back to the question, because there's a lot of hesitations if you do go to college to on like what college you go to.
the pressure.
What are the hesitations that you have about just what you want to do? Like, is there any like question? I don't know.
So basically, I saw college as a huge money pit. Like,
Mhm.
just I would rather not spend all that money if I know I'm not gonna like it. I
fair.
know a lot about the college experience because I have like friends that have older siblings, and I hear a lot about it, and I just see a lot of it on the internet, social media and stuff. So I just know that that's not for me. I want to get out of high school and start working and building my career.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of different paths other than college. Which
Yeah.
Exactly.
College is not the only path that you have. There's a lot of different options. You just need to do your research.
And I think our generation feels so much pressure to like go to school and get all these degrees.
Yep.
And no one ever really talks about that path of like starting your own business or starting your own like field in a way, you know?
Yeah, they don't teach you that in school.
They
They
don't.
teach you about college, which
Yes.
but nowadays the work industry is requiring a lot of like certificates and degrees, which
I mean,
kinda
like
sucks,
you'll
but-
probably still have to get like a real estate something.
yeah, you go through like a course.
Exactly.
basically.
And like I feel like there needs to be more exception with that, you know? Because
There needs to like be more awareness about how many people that like choose not to go to college.
exactly.
And I feel like talking to you about it, and like there are also like many people like in our grade who like probably aren't going to college either.
Yep.
And this will also just ease the minds of just younger kids who just know that college isn't for them.
Yeah.
Like I remember junior year, I'd like cry because I didn't think college was for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it wasn't
Honestly-
until honestly I like would look into the schools
Mm-hmm.
and I would make myself get excited, and then I convinced myself that this is an exciting chapter.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like I was kind of the same way. Like I could never picture myself at one school. Like I was like, where do I belong, you know? Because it's such a big choice. Like this is where you're going to be putting money, a lot of money into and like basically your future.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see myself anywhere either. And then I felt the same way when I started applying and looking into schools. I was like excited and like watching Ava today with like posting on like a college's like profile and like seeing all these people who at a school that she might potentially go to, like the giddiness, it was like very exciting.
I think there's like this fear that no one wants to be your friend freshman year, but everybody is looking for a friend. Everybody
Yes.
wants to.
Everyone's in the same boat. pretty much.
Exactly.
Literally.
But it's like you forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you what your favorite year was is in high school.
I would definitely say my senior year, the year that we are in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I loved freshman year. You know, we didn't get to really see a lot of sophomore year because of COVID. And junior year, I feel like I came back and was just like on my own. I didn't have any classes with anybody. I kind of like was isolating myself.
Yep.
Now, senior year is by far my favorite. I am, but definitely including myself in a lot more and getting out there a little bit more. And just kind of like finding my way. It's good.
Yeah, I agree. Senior year for sure. I like the social aspect of senior year the best.
You do? For you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like I think that everyone is like fully involved in like a group And like we all have classes together, which I love. Like I love having classes with my friends. Even you, like I have gym with you, which is exciting. Like and offs, because we never used to have classes together. But personally, like school wise, senior year is not my favorite with the classes I'm taking.
Oh, really?
Are
they hard?
I would say, I think I would say junior year classes were my favorite.
I would disagree.
Or maybe, I
feel like this year is all my easiest classes. This year is by far the easiest year ever. Besides sleeping in bed and waking up in bed on a Google Zoom.
That was the worst.
That was the worst, but I would definitely say that was the easiest.
That was the worst, but that was definitely like luxurious.
I have a funny story. So I took ceramics first period and I was on my laptop, but I was in bed and I forgot that I had my camera on.
Oh, God.
So I started laying down and then I realized that everybody, including Miss Cook, saw me.
Were you sleeping?
Yeah. And then I like slowly went out of the frame and then I clicked.
Felt that. I have
was
done that so much before.
Or like when you would fall asleep during a class and then you'd wake up and the teacher's like, Ava, are you still here?
Yeah,
and you're the only one?
Yep. I think it's happened to all of us.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was the worst. Everyone would be gone and it would just be you. And the teacher was like, Gianna, are you in the meet? Hello? And I was like, oh, sorry, I was in the bathroom. Like, what do you even say at that
I would
point?
say sometimes my biggest excuse was I had to take my dog out and he ran away.
Yes.
That's literally what I said.
I think that is the core of everyone's laziness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
For sure.
that time period was literally the laziest time of my life.
It was terrible. Okay. I was talking about a little bit about anxiety last episode, so I wanted to touch into that a little bit. So how does social anxiety kind of impact your high school experience?
So I would definitely say,
when do you think it was like the most heightened? I don't know.
Heightened, I would say last year.
Okay, yeah.
Because my junior year, I was kind of alone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I fell into like a depression era, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, but basically I just like wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting the same effort from the people who I didn't talk to. So basically I was just like isolating myself and I was super upset. I had like nobody to talk to. And I just feel like walking around this school, like seeing people who I would normally say hi to, I was really scared to like even look in their direction.
Wow.
Because I was just afraid. Like, I don't know. I would also choke up on my words if I would try to talk to somebody. It was just very intimidating, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason to be intimidated, but I just was.
Yeah, like in the beginning of the year, junior year, I felt like you were very like happy and like always with all of us and like always like literally every day we would all be together.
Yeah.
And then like there was just that switch and like we all noticed like the isolation and we all would like be like, Lexi.
Yeah,
like,
you guys would all check up on me. I love you
know.
guys.
We love
But
you.
that happens with, depression.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really explain it when you're the person in it, and you can't really explain to others why, like, sometimes you disconnect with them. But
Yeah.
I think that,
It just happens sometimes.
yeah, and with that comes growth. And
It's honestly taught me to get out there a little bit.
we will be taking a quick break, but we will be right back.
Hi guys, welcome back, and we are gonna continue with some more questions.
Okay, so to dive a little bit deeper, all of us in this room have divorced parents.
Yay.
And I searched this up, and about 50% of families in the U.S. are divorced.
That's crazy.
That's not even surprising to me.
I feel like it'd be
honestly.
higher.
Yes,
I know a lot of people
I
who
know.
have divorced parents.
I feel like everyone's first option nowadays is divorce.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
really sucks.
like no like therapy. It's just like
straight to
sign
the papers.
So if you're open enough, I just wanted to ask you about how you've dealt with divorced parents, and just tell me a little bit about your family.
So I don't really remember how old I was, but my parents brought us into their room one morning, and I was young enough to not really like understand.
Oh.
So I was kind of just like giggling because I was super uncomfortable, and it was like awkward for me. And I do that with like uncomfortable situations. So I was giggling. My brother was really upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much just was like confused. You know, like I didn't really get it. And me and my brother did a couple of things. Like we put some of their, I don't know what to call them. They had like this thing from their wedding, and we like put it on the counter with a note that was like, please stay together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was really upsetting.
Wow.
But
That's deep.
I
You-
remember. Mhm.
I really never know like the reason, because my
Mhm.
parents like have tried their best to keep us out of the
Yeah.
whole drama,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. But for the longest time, my parents were still living together. They were not
Mhm.
sleeping in the same bed,
Mhm.
but it was just a lot easier to do that. And then quarantine hit, and we were all living in the house together.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that my parents did a really good job at not fighting and arguing so much in front of the kids,
That's
which
good.
it was really good.
This was during quarantine,
Yes.
so
during
in a way they
quarantine.
kind of got along.
Yes.
Like roommates.
I think that they did that for the sake of me and my brother.
Yes.
But
And I think for the sake of them, I feel like
right.
it could be stressful.
It's
Mhm.
really stressful. And now we just sold our house. So sad. That was the house I grew up in.
Lots of
and
memories.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So many memories.
Oh my God, that was like the house that we would all go to. Oh, anyways, my parents have both moved out. They are living in their own houses now. Actually, we live with my grandma and my cousin and my uncle, and it's honestly so much fun that I live with like a lot of family, because family is so important to me, which is why I think the divorce hit me later on. It didn't really hit me so much when they told me, but it definitely has its like downside to it.
Yeah.
It's not a fun thing, especially when you're a kid, to go like through that and like to see your parents like just breaking. It breaks my heart now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I realize like maybe this was for the better.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know that when it happened for me, I felt like it was almost like a way of kind of growing up quicker.
Yes.
And
You
like-
have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
You have to mature quicker.
You do.
Also considering, I mean, during the time, only a few friends kind of knew about divorce. So
Mhm.
the other half that didn't, it was like you have to explain to
You
them.
couldn't even.
But you
like-
can't really put it into words.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Right.
I know that for me, it also happened when I was like very young, and my parents are not. I would say they are not cordial at all. Like
Mhm.
they do not speak. I also do not see my dad. Like I have not seen him in 7 years, and I thought that that was going to be something that affected me so much growing up. But honestly, like I feel like it's just made me stronger, and I think that if you're going through something like that, talk to people who you're friends with, talk to people who have experience like that, like
Mhm.
these two right here, and like you will get through it. And just because someone like leaves your life doesn't mean that like it's gonna affect you that much. Like it will affect you, but like you're gonna grow from it.
Right. Maybe not so much in like a bad way, but like a good
Yeah.
way. There's-
Ava, I would like to ask you the same question. How do you feel like everything affected you?
I think a lot of people, I think the first thing that people say are like, they say like, oh, like, you don't need a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that actually.
And that question is like a weird way of comfort, but it's not like comforting at all. I
It's
think
almost like
that's-
derogatory.
it's just like kind of offensive.
Yeah, I agree.
But obviously, I have my tough days.
Mhm.
I remember when I was younger, I think I made chocolate covered strawberries and I wrote my mom and dad's name on it.
Oh, so we all did something like
Yeah,
that.
but then I froze the strawberries accidentally.
oh,
Put them in
oh
the
God,
freezer.
Ava.
They were like, it's good. I can't bite into the strawberry. But obviously it has its tolls,
Yeah.
but you learn to get used to the dynamic
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Definitely.
I
'Cause
think
you're kind of
you-
forced into it.
I think you do a great job with balancing
Mhm.
yeah,
I try.
definitely.
because you are able to like it seems so effortlessly. I know it's not,
Mhm.
but like you make it seem like it's not like an issue.
Yeah.
And like it's like impressive.
Well,
almost.
obviously, I mean, now coming up with college, that can be hard. I mean, I wanna have my whole family kind of like support.
Yeah.
But you can't just assume that could happen that quick,
Mhm.
especially if the dynamic between parents aren't as cordial.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the only tough thing.
Yeah,
because if you're trying to talk about certain things, you kind of have to talk about them separately. But yeah, I remember I walked into the locker room and the first time it happened, and I opened up about what was happening, and you guys were there, and you guys supported me.
I would say me and Gianna were sitting in the locker room, and we saw Ava like sitting with her head down. Just it looked like she was going through a lot. Like I looked at her and I saw like a dark gray cloud over her, and I was like, "Oh my God, like what is wrong with you? Like, are you okay?" And she opened up, and I feel like it was kind of like God's plan to have me and Gianna.
I was happy that it
sitting
was
right
us
there
that
because Gianna and I have gone through it before Ava has.
Yeah.
So we kind of all coped together.
That's why it was easy for me to talk, because it made me feel better that
we knew what you were
not
not just
normal,
you.
but it's not just me.
Exactly.
And one thing that also kind of bothers me is when you talk about divorce and then like they start bashing the parents.
Yeah. Like, why would they do this? Why would they
Because
do
it's like you
that?
can't really explain it, but you want to defend your parents. It's like a sticky situation because obviously it's hard to deal with someone who has divorced parents if, you know, you're not experiencing that at home.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's how I felt as well. And like for me personally, like people can bash my dad. I don't really care. But with my mom, like I'm so close with her, and like it's just her and I in the house, and like we're very close. Like we're like sisters. So I also agree with that. Like when people would say stuff, I would just be like, don't get involved if you don't like know what you're talking about.
You know, they have good intention, but I think the way it comes off.
Yeah,
can be a
for
little
sure.
bit
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you, Lexi, for joining us today on the 3rd episode